Hello my friends, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. In today's video, it's really not a tutorial. I think I just needed to rant a little bit over my frustration in creating this painting. So I'll start from the beginning. There's an artist that I follow on YouTube whose name I cannot recall right now because I follow so many. And I follow a lot of watercolor artists because I am self-taught, so I am always learning. And the artist that I'm referring to did a version of a fuchsia flower, which is what I'll be painting today, in watercolor. Now she uses a different brand of paint. She uses Core, I think it's Q-O-R, and the vibrancy of the pink that she used was just gorgeous. But I don't have those paints. However, they are in my wish list, and I may just pull the trigger and buy them just so that I can give this painting a third try. So, in any case, I'm using Winsor & Newton professional paints. I'm also using Arches 100% cotton watercolor paper, and my brushes are Winsor & Newton, Rosemary & Co., Aqua Elite, and Silver Black Velvet. Now the Silver Black Velvet are my favorite brushes, but I used a combination of brushes because some of them have a finer tip than others and some are smaller, so you need it to get into some of these little tight areas. So here was my struggle with this painting. I have multiple pads of the Arches watercolor paper. It's one of my favorite papers. I've been using it since I upgraded to better quality watercolor paper. However, this pad, for some reason, was horrible. It didn't matter how much I wet the paper, it would buckle, but it would dry very quickly. So I was using a wet and wet technique for this painting. And what happens is you wet the area that you want to paint, and then you drop your paint into it, and the paint spreads very nicely and it gives you these beautiful soft edges. And if you wait for the paper to dry a little bit, you can create detailed lines that don't spread as much as they do when the paper is wetter. However, this was drying very, very quickly and my paint was not spreading as it should. I was getting hard lines instead of those soft edges, and I was really frustrated. But I didn't want to give up on the painting, and at first I didn't realize what was going on, that it was the paper. I thought maybe it was, I have central air and heat, so I thought maybe there was air blowing on the paper and it was drying it too quickly, but that was not the case because I did do a second version of this painting on a larger scale, and I did it in a different area and I experienced the same problem. The paper was just drying way too quickly. And in a bunch of the watercolor groups that I belong to and some of the videos that I've watched on YouTube, there have been a lot of artists complaining about the quality of Arches and the difficulties that they have found using the paper recently. I understand that, and I may be incorrect about this. If I am, let me know. They were recently bought out by Canson, and the artists that I follow were saying that ever since they were bought out, the quality of the paper is not the same. And I had not yet experienced this because I was using blocks and pads that I had purchased long ago. I hoard watercolor paper. I feel like I can never have enough. So this was one that I bought recently, and it was a small pad, so I decided to use it for this particular painting. And I finally experienced what everyone is talking about. But again, I didn't give up on the painting. I decided that I was going to follow through as I usually do and see if I was satisfied at the end. But it was a real struggle. Now, I don't know if I mentioned the colors that I'm using. I'm using Opera Rose, Quin Red, Quin Violet, Gold Green or Green Gold, Olive Green, and Sap Green. And if you'd like to give this painting a try, stick around until the end of the video. I will provide you with a line drawing that you can pause the video and take a screenshot, print it out, and use it to create your version of this painting. And if you do try this painting, I would love to see how you do. You can share your version of paintings and techniques learned on this channel in our Facebook group, Vivo Vintage Design Tutorials. We have a lovely group of members that are incredibly talented and very supportive. And I am very active in the group, so if you want to share your painting and if you're having issues and you want some suggestions, you can always reach out to me there and share your painting. And if you have any questions about the techniques you see me use in this video, or if you have had the same issues as I have, I would love to hear about it. You can leave it in the comments below. I read every single comment and I respond as often and as quickly as I can. And as always, take a look in the description box for links to the products used in this video. Now, here is where I struggled the worst. When you're painting with watercolor, it requires patience. You need to let the paint dry between your layers. You need to add very light layers and build your color up. And that's what gives your painting dimension, and it keeps your colors from muddying up on the paper. And patience is not one of my greatest virtues. You can see here to create the leaf of this flower, I wet down the paper and then I started dropping in my different colors. But again, the paint wasn't spreading the way I wanted. And I don't think I was using the right colors. I used sap green. I should have been using hooker's green because that's what I used in the second version of this painting. And I think the color was more vibrant, which is what I was looking for. But either way, you can see that I continued working and adding color, and I should have waited for the paint to dry and then done multiple layers if necessary to build up my color and to add my detail. But I didn't. I just kept re-wetting that leaf and dropping in colors and spreading it around with my paintbrush. And at one point it didn't look half bad. I should have left it alone, but of course I overworked it. And towards the end, what I ended up doing just to save it was to lift some color to try and pick up some of the muddiness that I created. See, at this point, I don't think it was that bad. And I should have just left it alone or allowed it to dry. See, that wasn't so bad. Now here I'm trying to lift color to create my highlights. But I had such a muddy mess on the paper. And I still kept going. I find that when I'm painting with watercolor, if I just leave it alone, let it dry, get up and do something else, I'm much happier. But here, again, I just overworked it. My colors blended together and it was an awful mess. I did my best to save it. But, well, you be the judge. Let me know what you think. Well, we're getting to the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed watching me struggle with this painting. Let me know if you had the same experience with the Arches watercolor paper as I have had. And let me know what paper you use, because I'd love to give something new a try. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.